Hi, we're Harder Brunch.
We're Harder Brunch.
And we're super excited to tell you about our adult summer camp this August 25th, 26th, and 27th.
Wow.
We're going to be doing a full 3-day festival, and we want you to be a part of it.
Let's go.
It's going to be amazing. We got all your favorite comedians. We got headliners Brent Terhune and Gwen Sunkel on board.
Okay.
We're going to have musical acts by Clint Breeze, House of Wolves, The Tubbles.
Dang.
And all weekend is going to be all inclusive.
Wait, all
That's
inclusive?
right. One ticket price all weekend long gets you into everything. We're going to be bringing back all of the favorite summer camp activities you remember as a kid. We're going to be doing swimming, archery, handicrafts, canoes.
Wow.
All weekend long, all inclusive.
That's not even financially smart.
Well, that's what we're doing. Get your tickets today at eventbrite.com, and we'll see you there.
I guess we'll see you there.
Harder Brunch, summer camp.
I'm eating brunch with my people though. The homie Dyke just cooked up a feast and we bout to eat it, bro. Fucked around and has to mix the lobster with the poutine. Daddy is rolling blow dream, them boys got down a routine. It's Naptown culture, cooking 7 courses. Had to pass the torch and now I'm grabbing second portion. So sit back, relax, grab a drink and a smoke. It's Harder Brunch on the way and get prepared for the jokes. Whoa.
Hi, and welcome to the Harder Brunch Podcast. I'm your host, Dyke Michaels, and with me, as always, my co-host, Steady's Jay McKee.
Slappy, pappy, wank, wank.
On the ones and twos, the wheels of steel, the sauce boss of Indianapolis, and the last woke dragon. Give it up for Zach Rohn, everybody.
Hey there.
And a very special first-time guest with us in studio, comedian Kelly Collette. Welcome to the show.
Hi. I don't have anything clever to say. I wasn't prepared for that.
Where's your catchphrase?
I'm sorry.
Your catchphrase is I'm sorry?
I'm sorry. I'm disappointed.
It's I'm sorry, Kelly Collette.
Yes, she just hunches her back. Oh, Cliven. Yeah.
Well, we had a very special announcement to start off this podcast with. Thad's being fired. And
Congratulations.
This is going to be his last episode.
Oh my God,
Hey
I'm
guys,
so happy for you.
It's been so much fun.
I love it.
No, very special announcement. We are going to rent out a summer camp this year. Harder Brunch Adult Summer Camp.
Heck yes.
August 25th, 26th, and 27th.
That's right.
And you know what that means?
Harder Brunch, summer camp.
Yeah.
I didn't realize the theme song was going to be so industrial. It's very, I like it. It was very 90s industrial.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm at a rave.
It's a throwback to going camping and getting excited.
Harder Brunch, where swimming after 30 minutes is impossible.
Yeah. Can you imagine going swimming right now?
Yeah.
But no, we're very excited. We're renting out 300 acres in Brown County, Indiana, and we're doing a mini music, comedy, and food festival the end of August. We're going to be, tickets are on sale right now if you go to eventbrite.com. Scoop those up. It's going to be camping. It's going to be all your classic like camp activities like swimming, canoeing, archery.
We're talking food fights. We're talking woods in the rave. We're talking concerts.
We're talking naked skinny dipping. We're talking tomahawks on the top of a mountain. Sorry, I'm just doing all the dangerous things. Is that
Capture
included?
the flag.
There we go.
There'll be archery, but I don't know if there's tomahawks.
Okay.
There will be Capture the Flag, and we're also going to have our headliner, Brent Terhune, is going to be headlining the entire festival. Gwen Sunkel, some amazing comics from the Midwest, and some amazing musical acts as well.
Yeah, we got Clint Breeze. He's going to be bringing it. He's going to be bringing his band, his own band. It's going to be really good. It's
How
gonna
much
be
are
a neat
tickets?
thing.
Tickets are on sale right now for the low price of $250.
Heck yes.
We're sponsored by Upland Brewery. And
So all you can drink.
they're going to be providing beer the whole weekend.
This is bananas.
And also,
Who would not do this?
all the food. You get five meals the whole weekend. Camping is included.
All included.
And then there's you can for a small upcharge, you can get a cabin as well.
What are the rules?
The rules are have fun, be cool, don't be a dick.
Don't be a dick.
And enjoy yourself.
Wow.
That's right. That's camp out, baby. Go. Oh,
Oh, wow. That's
Hey.
way.
Yeah. Well, this was our first announcement, so we got to get our timing down.
I'm so happy
but
for you guys. That is
very
so
excited.
cool.
And for the record, we did ask you.
You did.
To be a headliner there, but you are already too famous for us.
I am in Canada. I am so mad because I love camping. I love everything that you guys just said. It's like you created a special event that's like teetered to everything I love, and then you're like, but we're gonna have it on this date. You're not there, and I'm like, I could cry. I could really cry.
Well, let's talk after the podcast about 2024.
2024. Okay.
And we will get some.
I can just not go to Canada.
We'll get on.
I'm just not wanting to go anywhere. This just sounds so much fun.
Awesome.
What are you doing in Canada?
I'm doing comedy.
I mean, is it Montreal?
No.
Oh, okay.
Well, I mean, I will go to Montreal. I'm not doing
Are you
Montreal.
going for just for laughs?
What if I would? No, I'm not. That'd be cool though.
But you are going there to make people laugh, so it is just for laughs.
It's just for laughs, but it's not just for. If I got JFL, would be the first thing coming out of my mouth every time I shake hands with somebody.
You're like, let's not talk about summer camp. I have something to say.
I have an announcement to make. Let's make this about me.
My announcement's better. No, you've been absolutely killing it. I'm so excited. Every time I look at your like social media, you got something. So let's name them off. You're going on tour with Blake Hammond.
Yes, I put that one together myself. I'm very proud of that. It's my first one I'm organizing.
Yeah, well, he's going on tour with you. I don't know how it works.
How it works is I'm booking everything. And
You're doing all the work.
I'm doing all the work.
He's
and
reaping
I'm
all
like,
the
listen,
benefits.
you can't fucking back out of this now. I put your face on a poster.
Yeah.
But it's semantics wise, it's crazy because you're just like, we're like, when can we both go together? We're like July. And we're like, that is the worst month for comedy, right? Because people are like, well, they want to be outside. Yeah. They want to be doing things.
You're competing with everything.
Yeah. And then it's like, where do we want to go? He's like, let's go south. And I'm like, oh yeah, Satan's butthole. Let's go to the hottest places that we could possibly think of. So it could just crash and burn. But
no.
Hopefully it'll be good.
That is one, that's an amazing ticket. Two, you guys are both just like on a rocket shit up, rocket shit.
Yeah, that's not something you want to say.
You guys are both rocking shit up.
You know, it feels like that a lot. It feels like just a bag of shit that we're rocking. Just walking around rocking it.
No, man, that's gonna be such a
Rocket shit was my name in high school for a little bit after a bad incident.
Yeah.
You guys are two peas in a rocket shit.
How much Tinker coffee do you guys need to rocket shit
Right.
to the moon?
That's how I like to wake up every morning.
Right. Well, that's the thing about Tinker coffee. It doesn't make you shit.
This is the best coffee I've had.
Hey, that's not even us saying it. That's the guest. That's the guest saying it. That's organic. This is what we call an organic plug right there.
Organic plug?
Yeah. You're going to need the organic plug for your rocket ships. All right. I blame myself for derailing this one.
I just named a pine cone.
So that's amazing. And you're doing comedy everywhere, all over the country. And then I was just in Cincinnati this week, and I go there, and it's like, your name's on the marquee. It's like Kelly Collette's gonna be here.
And I was just in Indy like Wednesday. So I was trying to maximize all my time. I'm literally like throwing myself full force into it. And I was like, I'm going to be in Indy on Wednesday for a show. And then I have the brunch podcast. So I was like, why don't I just go up to Chicago? So I was like banging on doors, and I'm like, hey, Chicago, can I come? And they're all like, we'll get back to you. And then like, I was like forlorn. I was like, so I'm going to stay home all weekend. And someone's like, hey, Dimitri Martin wants you to open for him at the Taft on Saturday. And I was like, I feel like this happens when the universe is like saying no to some things.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as you're just like, okay, accept it. Like it comes through your door like the Kool-Aid man, and just being like, hey,
so that just fell into your lap?
That was a nice one.
Wow.
That was a win that I didn't have to work for. That was very nice. But most of the other stuff is just like me like rattling cages now and just being like, is something gonna come out of this? Yeah.
It's so cool. It was so cool to see you, like, because I was just at that theater. So it was like,
it's a fun theater.
I was like, oh man, Kelly's gonna be here. That's so cool. And like, I feel like you're gonna point out, like, I think I booked you on a show to headline, like sight unseen, like just on your reputation. It was just like
fun.
Just off of my reputation.
it was just like, she's funny, and I was like, okay, I'm sure.
Are you gonna tell him the backstory?
Which one?
that you thought I was a mom.
I thought you were a mom comic. I did think you were a mom, which is, there's nothing wrong with being a funny mom.
No, it's just my pants were so high. He just assumed. He's like, man, those are high-waisted. No way she's not going to have jokes
It was
about.
like, they're all about,
They're all gonna be
Doesn't talk about our kids.
the carpool
Yeah.
lane.
Caden and Xander and all, McKaylee with 5 Ys.
You do look like you would have a Xander.
Oh my God. I like old grandma names on kids. That's my vibe.
Like Chauncey, Dolores.
Chauncey would be awesome. Dolores, heck yes. Dorothy,
Beatrice.
give it to me. Beatrice, not that one.
Opie?
Okay, you got one wrong. Opie, is that an old person's name? I thought that was a nickname for a redheaded kid.
Oh, is that like a slang for a redhead?
It's a slur.
No, yeah.
Ooh, I did
Slur
not
for
know.
redhead is a step kid.
Sorry, redheads.
Couple
Yeah.
of real Opies over there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Look at the step kids over in the corner.
He looks like that kid from Mad TV, a real Opie.
Yeah. I don't
Or
yeah. I
Mad
don't-
Magazine.
Oh yeah, Mad Magazine. That is Alfred P. Newman.
E.
Newman.
Yeah,
Like-
Otherwise known as Opie.
I didn't mean to
also
correct you so
no.
hard there.
No, it's good. I got halfway there. We did the 90-10 rule.
Wait, but how did it come out that you weren't a mom comic? Like, did he
Oh,
question
I
you
got
on
off
it?
stage and he goes, because I have jokes where I go, I don't have kids. So that must have blown his mind the moment I said that.
Anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. They're gone now. Yeah, that's the kind of comic, dark mom comic. They'll never catch me.
I see Anthony comic.
Oh my God.
I did. I had kids.
I did. But I needed to do comedy.
I was a mother of 3.
Just really, really sexual. I swallowed him. No, I don't want to have said that online.
There's
Not
a
what I would have said. You guys said at the beginning, don't say anything on this podcast you don't want to have had said.
And you said you swallowed your kids.
Yeah,
too late.
It was trying too hard.
we definitely. I definitely am guilty of this. I have a thing of sometimes if I don't have enough information about people, I
Yeah.
just kind of start building their own backstory out of my brain.
Stereotyping.
Yeah,
That is stereotyping.
Why did you just-
yeah. I think that's,
I based on the color of their skin and their age and
That's
the
what they call 'em.
demographic.
Stereotype dyke.
if I don't know the content of your character,
Yeah,
I will
absolutely.
just.
I just like
Fill it
that you go the extra step of making sure to like vocalize it
Yeah.
to them. Like, because there's a lot of people who do that and just go on with their day, but you're like, hey, you're not a mom comic.
Hey,
Yeah.
not a mom comic at all.
He created a backstory where I had 5 kids. This is not just like a mom comic of just like, me and Xander. Like he had the whole bunch in there. The carpool lane, the car.
I just definitely like made up this whole and then I was like, oh, you were.
I didn't have my nails done. I didn't have a
Ridiculous.
big ring on. I didn't have anything.
But if you ever do become a mom comic, I'm sure you'll be a very funny mom comic.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
But I was more like, you ever buy something based on a recommendation and then
absolutely.
it's just way better than you thought it was going to be?
Wait, so you're saying you bought Kelly?
No,
Oh, like you thought you got her on clearance? And then,
I mean, I wouldn't say bought, but rented.
He rented me for a night.
But
Even
I knew you would be good, but I didn't realize. I guess let me rephrase this in a way that doesn't make me sound like an asshole. I didn't realize that I would be such a fan.
Thank you.
And
'Cause I'm a woman, or-
no, we're not that. Not
From
that
Ohio.
one. No. I was just. I mean, I think what it is I think the more you see comedy, the more your taste kind of gets like, I've seen a million other acts like this,
Yeah.
or it's like we start getting kind of numb. So when you do see people that you're actually fans of, it's a treat.
Thank you.
And so I was very excited for that, and then we wanted you to be part of the festival, but you're here on the show now.
I'm here on the show. I had
very excited.
the best brunch I've ever had in my entire life.
Thank you very
In
much.
my entire life. And I'm an old woman with many kids, so I've been to a lot of brunches.
Do we want to let's get into the brunch now while we're here? You brought it up.
Yeah, I brought
It's
it up.
time for the Smoking Goose brunch breakdown.
Oh, look at my pictures up there.
That's the goose.
How'd you guys get on my?
that's you.
That's my art page, though. That's not my.
Oh, Casey just as we talk about stuff, it comes up.
Damn, I look cute.
Goes.
Now they're seeing the real thing. They're like, oh, Instagram is fake. Look at that. Yeah, look at
that's
all
not
that.
Instagram though.
Look
is
at all
it?
that makeup. Yeah.
She's got a lot of kids.
Oh, you have to go to her actual website to see these
Yeah,
pictures.
that's back before my hair fell out with stress. I had really good hair. Everybody got real fucking quiet on that one.
So we have. Did you have hair loss?
Did I have? Yeah, after COVID.
Really?
COVID. Apparently, when you get like a high spike fever, it like sends something to your whole entire body that's like, stop growing fingernails and hair. Fuck it. No, we just need to take care of the thing.
Okay.
And then
yeah.
like, I feel like I talked to a bunch of people that are like, oh yeah, after COVID, my hair was like different. So now I'm like trying all these potions. I'm like a witch. I'm like rosemary oil and all these things, and it's like slowly coming back. It's nice.
Yeah, so let's talk about the brunch. You came on a very interesting day because we're actually, pull back the curtain here. We're doing 2 episodes in one day.
Wow.
Cool. So we did 2 brunches in one day.
Yeah.
So we're just going to talk about.
So that wasn't normal.
No.
That amount of food was.
The amount of food was the same, but the number of courses was more.
Yes.
No.
And they were themed for.
They were themed for the Indy 500.
Absolutely.
Because
smashed it.
We wanted you to experience that. Have you ever been to the Indy 500?
I have not been to the Indy 500, but I covered it on a podcast that I used to have, which was called Living My Fest Life. And it was a podcast about festivals. So I covered the Indy 500. I think I talked to Ben Polizzi about it. It was the weekend I was working at Helium.
He would know.
And we just, he was doing bottle service.
And you don't do that anymore, do you?
Oh, I stopped.
Was it like a Fire Fest situation?
Around episode 80, we were like, okay, next week, because it was like the summer, we're like, we'll come back next week. And then like we've all had like a great week. And I guess we forgot about our trauma, you know what I mean? And we're like, we'll push it back. And then then like a month went by and we're like, oh, we don't have a podcast anymore.
Yeah.
So we're thinking about maybe revamping.
Bringing it back. I like the concept of that.
Well, I was like you guys, like I fest like local food, like the food at festivals and stuff like that. I was like, my ultimate goal, like I was thinking like vision wise, like what do I want to do with this? And I was like, I want a travel TV show where they're like, Kelly goes and explores the Blueberry Pie Festival, and then I get to eat all the blueberry pies, and then I get to talk about the festival.
That's perfect.
I just wanted to go from town to town, being like, what is your local thing? Like Irvington Halloween Festival. What are you known for? Like how many people come? Like what is the vibe here? What should people know about it if they're coming into town to be at the festival?
Yeah, you got good travel host energy.
Thank you. Okay, I'll take that compliment all day long. Yeah.
So we wanted to put on. So I grew up on the west side of Indianapolis. Like I could hear the cars racing the whole month of May. If you grow up on the west side of town, it's just the Indy 500 is just the day that traffic's fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Like you just have to know exactly where you're going to be because there's parts of the day where you can't leave your house or you can't get back to your house.
Did you ever wake up and forget it was that day and then you just saw the town and you're like, oh yeah, that's today?
We are all so well aware because depending on where you live, sometimes you can't park on the street. And
so it's like the apocalypse is coming. You guys are like, Thursday, everybody ready? It's like Irvington, a big snow.
We have the same thing now because of the Halloween Fest. Yeah. Like we're locked in after a certain point. So it's like you have to figure out how you're getting to work if you have to. Anyway, but so we've done a lot of food on this podcast. We've done a lot of brunches where we've done Indy 500 food before. We've done State Fair food before. We've done Indiana food, and there is like this overlapping Venn diagram of just fried treats. So I didn't want to do something like I feel like that was hack for us, you know, and just be like, here's a breaded tenderloin, here's a apple on a stick, you know. So like wanted to try to make things a little elevated, a little
Sorry,
fun.
I didn't know a breaded tenderloin was a fair food.
Well, apple on a stick isn't either.
That's not what they call it. Funnel cake. Yeah, I just assumed everything deep fried, but I didn't know tenderloin.
You guys don't love my awesome improv skills.
Apple on a stick.
Tenderloin's very Indiana.
Yeah, but like corn on a cob.
Corn on a cob
is if we're gonna put anything on a.
Or corn on a stick.
Yeah. Corn on a stick.
Stick-based foods.
Apple on a stick.
Then boom. See? I knew it was a thing.
Yeah.
No, that's a caramel apple on a stick.
Yeah, it's like a candy apple.
Or caramel. No, not apple.
Yeah, he was just going plain apple. Like,
cold apple on a stick.
Yeah, it's a Honey Crisp with a bruise in it.
I guess you guys didn't have my grandma. That's all we got.
She tried to make it fun. Like when people put cloves in an orange to make a smiley face. Hey, it's a cloved orange.
Honey, you barely touched your apple on a stick.
You haven't touched your banana dolphin today.
No more stick apples.
Yeah.
So we The first course was a
pickle on a stick.
Was
That's what you guys did. You just changed it up.
It was like, here's a pickle. Was the
my first deviled egg.
Really?
First ever.
Okay. Well, are we allowed to talk about the mustard elephant in the room?
If you must expose my deep secret,
People are gonna know.
I'm not ashamed of it.
Yeah, you don't like mustard. It's fine.
Hate it.
Yeah.
What I was told in preparation was that there was to be no mustard and no full glasses of milk. And that was the instructions I
What
got.
happened with the milk thing? Is that me?
I guess, yeah. No, because it was gluten free for the second half of the meal for those guests, but for
Yeah, didn't you say you didn't like milk either?
I think I said like I don't fucks with dairy that much.
You just said milk. Like it made it sound like if you would eat cheese if it was in something.
Oh, yeah.
But you wouldn't like slam a glass of milk, and I was
Can't slam a glass of milk.
luckily
They're full
we've-
of hormones. They make me puff up and flare up.
I was like, I don't think we've ever offered a glass of milk to anybody, but
just in
you
case
could
today
have.
was
Yeah.
like the first course is
Yeah.
a buttermilk from Nessie out back. We rented her from the apples on the stick,
I
folks.
was like, Zach, dump all the mustard milk now.
So when I saw the deviled eggs come
Yeah,
out, I'm
I
like,
knew.
man, I'm scared because I know how disrespectful it would be to turn down food, and that's why I was like, they're punking me. They asked specifically, is there anything I don't like? And they're like, we're gonna make
Yeah,
deviled eggs.
I will say this. I decided on making it, and then as I was like buying stuff, I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to. I was like, I'll just I'll omit the mustard. It'll be fine. But I was like, she's gonna think I'm trying to like slip her some mustard.
I saw them and I was like, this is your fear factor moment. Like, you just put it in your mouth. It's like a hissing cockroach. You just do it.
But it did also make me go more chicken salad, and then that
Which I've never had chicken salad either.
Really.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I was like because chicken salad seems like something you would take to the race. I know they used to do like Marsh would do these like little to-go boxes of like fried chicken, and it's like slaw and chicken salad and all that kind of stuff in it. I don't know how many chickens it had, but and it had an apple on a stick in it.
Marsh is a grocery store?
Yeah.
Okay, so like Indy 500,
Yeah.
they'd be like,
Marshall's
hey,
his grandma.
She always
old
made.
Marsh.
Yeah, thank
Old
you.
Meg Marsh.
Thank you, Marsh. Marsh was like a family nickname.
Yeah.
We called her- she had a real name.
You guys know, that was a Little Women reference that I made.
I never watched Little
Okay,
Woman.
well,
Sorry.
I can't read it.
this is not.
Oh, it's a book.
Is it-
Well, I cannot.
Yeah, I can't read that.
Legally, I'm not allowed to.
Yeah. Winona Ryder and you just, yeah.
But-
I loved it though.
What? And then we put the fried chicken skin on it. And I saw you come in and go, what's that? And you were very excited. I said, oh, that's fried chicken skin. And you were like, oh.
I'd never had that either. I feel like today was a palate that I loved. It was incredibly good.
So the first course, we're going off script from anything that you've ever eaten before.
I had dill before, and I've had a hard-boiled egg. Extent of...
I have a question.
Yeah.
Sorry. How did you get it? Just the skin of the chicken? Did you just peel the skin off and then fry that?
Yep.
Okay.
It was good.
And then you threw the rest of the chicken away?
And then, threw the rest in the trash.
Yeah.
I don't know how you do it. No, I made the chicken salad out of the rest of the chicken.
Oh.
Yeah. Usually you take the skins and you play a little game.
Put it on your face.
Put it on your face. Little scare your friends.
I was laying all the chicken skins out on a thing, and I was like, "This looks like a horror, mask or something. This looks like a Texas Chainsaw situation."
Tinker Coffee. I need some new jeans.
Well, we can't blame our sponsor for
for the drool that came out of the sun. How do you guys
Tinker can stain.
Yeah, Tinker.
and then
Can I tell you, they were amazing.
Thank you.
I wanted I took every bite.
Yeah.
Loved it. It was so good. The
Okay.
second one, I was like, I'm going to eat it like sushi so you can have like a moose-bouche, put it all in your mouth at one time, get all the flavors at once, see which ones are popping. So I had two.
okay, that's great because I
Yeah.
was like, let's just skip over this because it sounds like you were like, yeah, I ate it.
No, I loved it. And the dill, the fresh dill that you put on it, I feel like really set it off to make it like seem like so fresh. Cause like my experience with deviled eggs is like someone's aunt
Yeah.
would make them 3 nights before a party.
And then leave them in the car
Leave them in
overnight.
a car, wrap them in cellophane, put them on a coffee table, and then other extended members of the family would eat them with their mouth open.
Well, can I tell you, in my house was a little different than most houses because my Grandma Marsh, she would always make her deviled eggs with like either ham or shrimp in them.
Shrimp.
Wait, shrimp?
Yeah, and so she would make both kinds. And so my whole life growing up, I just deviled eggs had ham in them or shrimp.
Yeah.
Sometimes both. And then the first time I went to like a picnic or a party and they just had a regular ass deviled egg, I was like, what is this?
You guys are missing the
I was like,
expensive meat.
Who's phoning this in?
Yeah, who's poor?
One time I made because everyone loved my grandma's deviled eggs, and so one time I made her recipe, and I took him to a party, and it was a huge hit. So I tried to years later redo it, and I did the thing that you were saying. I made them the night before, and then quickly sealed them in a Tupperware, and put them. And it didn't have a chance for those gases to unleash. So I've been hyping up these eggs for like 2 weeks, and right when everyone's like, it was like a Super Bowl party, everyone's got a nice buzz going on, and I'm like, hold on, you guys won't believe. And I opened it, and it was like a fart bomb went off in the house. It literally cleared the house. Like people ran outside.
God, I can picture the cloudy colored square Tupperware container that these must have been in, because it's that one. It's always there's a deviled egg Tupperware container. They're crammed in there.
Yeah.
They got it on the sides, splashing a little.
Yeah, it can go real south. So I understand you having the trepidation.
But you know what you also did? The presentation was beautiful. You line them up like Indy cars.
Yeah, just
you
like Indy cars.
Yeah, and when we all raced them across the table. Like we didn't do that.
I have a question for Zach and Casey. Why are they called deviled eggs?
Like just personally?
Like, why is that the name? Is it because like when chickens see us eat them, like these guys are monsters?
It's not even devil eggs. It's deviled with an
Devil.
ED. So it's like
Devil.
Satan came.
It's
himself.
probably a reference to the spicing of the yolk.
The paprika.
Or
Yeah.
whatever they put in it.
Devil
like
spice.
deviling something.
The connection between the spiciness and presumably hot temperatures in hell. Since the word devil does have a negative connotations, though some groups prefer to use it called it stuffed eggs, salad eggs, or dressed eggs.
Salad eggs.
The presumably hot temperatures in hell.
Hey guys, these salad eggs have been in my car for about 4 days.
I mean, it's not proved.
Yeah, it's
Salad
no
eggs.
one's gone.
Bro, if you tried to give me salad eggs, I'd have you arrested. So I was like, "You want some salad eggs?" No, man.
salad.
Wait, aren't you the one that buys the whole boiled, peeled eggs in the bag?
I peeled all of those.
Okay.
By hand.
Peeling an egg is
That's
hard.
why I was behind this today. All right. That's why there was not a lot.
Hold on. People also ask, what is the importance of deviled eggs? I have to know that. Like, what is the importance of
Yeah,
it?
because I want to learn about these eggs.
Yeah.
I think there is something because there's deviled ham too, right?
Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah.
It's it has to be something about the process.
Mustard
The
protects
deviling
you from
process.
certain types of cancer. That's interesting.
Mustard protects you from hell.
Still not going to try it. Don't want it. Hate it.
I mean, chickens have to think we're monsters when we eat eggs.
Especially
They have
when you
to.
like stuff them inside of their egg.
Yeah, they're like, come on now. This is insane.
Yeah, you took its skin off and
Yeah.
then put it in its.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
Generations of chickens.
monsters.
That's why I
Turducken.
thought it was deviled. I thought it was like the worst sin that we're committing towards these
Yeah.
chickens. Like,
It makes it watch itself eat itself.
which I like how you took it to another level, cooking more chicken and frying the skin and putting it all in there. Like you're all the levels of hell.
Stuffed in the, it's a real Dante's Inferno. Brunch foods. Then the second course we made was it was a sausage and apple frittata.
Yeah.
That one was, I feel like I had all these kind of flavor ideas and stuff in my head, but I wanted to make them like elevated, like I said. And then, any excuse not to do a crust, I'm into.
The crust was well it had
a crust, yeah.
Yeah, the topping, not even a topping, just the way it hardened on top. It almost looked like it had cheese on it, but it didn't have any cheese in
That's
it.
the
That's
apples.
what you said.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was delicious.
Very simple too, you know.
Yeah.
It's just that it was one of our sponsors, Smoking Goose. Their hillbilly sausage, which is just really flavorful.
So good.
really good.
And then that mixed with the apples, and
Yeah.
then a little bit of onion, and then the egg. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's real simple.
It
and,
was light too. Like it wasn't heavy. Like I feel like I could have that and feel
like
I
if you
could
would have
go-
just had that for breakfast.
I'd go for a walk.
You
and
would've had
feel
a good
good
day.
about myself. Yeah.
It's sweet sausage, right? The hillbilly. It almost seemed like there was syrup in it. Is that? Or is that
it has a lot of like
It has
like,
Mountain Dew in it. That's how it gets the hillbilly part
That's
of
their
it. Yeah.
secret ingredient. It's actually meth.
Yeah, they mix it together.
No, it has a lot of like kind of like those like Christmas holiday spices in it. There's like the clove and the nutmeg and
clove.
there is maple syrup in it. Boom.
Hey, did I call that out?
You did actually.
Do I get like a badge, a food badge? I'm a sausage sommelier.
You get a sound drop probably.
Pew!
Did I get a sound drop? Thank you.
There we go.
Oh, it's nice.
And then the pork tenderloin. It was instead of doing the traditional, normally in Speedway, Indiana, Speedway is known for mug and bun, which was a drive-in restaurant,
drive through,
where you come out in the
roller skates,
skates,
serve the food in the car. Okay, so Indiana
car hop. Yeah, I forget they call them different things.
Yeah,
different places.
Mug and bun sounds like a cool dance they did in the 40s.
So many broken fingers.
Yeah, there it is. So they would have this giant breaded tenderloin. They had really good like milkshakes and fried stuff, and that's like a stone's throw away from the Indy 500.
Nice.
So like I always think about it. I think it just sold this year. But I want to do an elevated, tenderloin thing. I want to throw some corn in there. So I did the polenta. I wrapped the pork tenderloin with smoking goose bacon and Gouda.
The Gouda was amazing.
And then I threw some root vegetables in there. I told Zach that they were seasonal root vegetables, and I don't know why I said that because I typed it on the menu, and then when he got here, I was like, he's going to know. These weren't seasonal at all. Yeah. Those were fall vegetables. Zach, I lied to you.
I know.
He
let you believe he believed you.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
But yeah, it was fun, and I wanted to get all those flavors in there and give you the West Side experience without going full trash.
I feel like I was at a 5-star restaurant. I loved that I didn't know what we were serving until you came out. Like, it felt special. Yeah. And I felt like I was looking around, and I don't do a lot of family gatherings. Like, I don't do holidays or any of that stuff. So, like, at one point I looked at that and I was like, I feel like I'm about to cry. And he's like, okay, weirdo. But I was like, no, it's just being around people, talking for 2 hours, like, and then getting good food. I was like, this is, like, so wholesome. Yeah.
I thought you were going to cry.
I was thinking about it.
I was trying to give you space. I looked away.
Yeah.
I was like, let her cry.
And then I was like, let's talk about gay Batman. And then I would just.
That's what happened.
That's what I had to deflect the conversation.
Is that your normal go-to, gay Batman?
100%. People have hard opinions. So it's good.
Well, let's take a quick break and we'll be right back with more Kelly Collette.
This week on the After Brunch Podcast.
Part of Trump's deal is he didn't change shit. I even remember after he won, the night he won, every woman I knew called me crying. It was weird. And I was just like, oh, this is not ideal for me, but I realized this is a fact.
These women call me crying. I gotta change something. This is ideal. I had to listen to women when Trump got elected. I had to listen to women. I'm out of this. Yeah.
Join us at patreon.com/Harder Brunch.
And we're back. No, we're just talking about handshakes.
Yeah. Establish dominance immediately. You gotta if you don't have the harder handshake, you're letting the person know.
I would like to come up with a handshake with you. I feel like
I would love to have a handshake with you.
We'll have a handshake.
A secret handshake?
Yeah.
Just the two of you?
But we do it in front of people so people go, oh my God, they're best friends.
You can have one too, but it just can't be the same.
Oh.
Yeah.
I wanted to bring up something that was very funny that involved last time I saw you. And I want to preface this for the people that are listening to the story that comics, we have a different I feel like when it's just us comics, we have a shorthand language. We sometimes the way we bust each other's balls seems inhumane to a regular person, but it's
immediate too.
But we expect it from each other almost. It's a very loving how we show. It's like a love language.
It's a vibe check too. Mm-hmm. It's if let's see how well we fuck together. Not fuck together. That's not what I meant. But like, let's see how we fuck together.
No, I know what you meant.
You fuck with me, I fuck with you. It's like a.
Can you make that a sound clip? That's the next sound clip now.
So.
Oh, that's not what I meant. But, most comics do that, I guess. But
so we were at a show in Ohio, and I was on it with Lucas Waterfill.
Oh yeah.
And Lucas was running late, and I want to make it very clear he was not running late because of his disability.
Correct.
He was just talking too much. And I was like, Lucas, we're going to be late. And this show was very like meticulous. It was very like everything has to go on time. Mm-hmm. So we get in and I'm looking and I was like, man, we're gonna be like 3 to 5 minutes late, and this guy's he's not gonna be into it. I was like, you need to text him and tell him we're being late.
This is fun because I know my side of the story, but I don't know your guys' leading up to it.
And the first night, I was the first comic on after the host, so I'm like, and also I have to go right on stage, so I'm sweating bullets. And then we get there, and the show has already started without us.
Yep.
And there, Lucas, who's a friend of the show, is in a wheelchair, and there's no ramp like to get in the door. The only way for him to get in is to open the whole back wall of the room that everyone's in watching
like a
comedy.
Retractable garage.
It's a garage door, and it's St. Patrick's Day. It's very cold outside.
Super cold.
So it was the only way to get in is literally to distract 90 people and the comic that's on stage. Yep. And the host is on stage, and so we're like, okay, we'll just wait between the host and I'm still at the point where I think I'm the first comic. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, I don't know. And I'm like, Lucas, can you figure this out? I need to get in there. And he's like, yeah, go. So it looks like starting off that I'm just abandoning Lucas out in the cold by himself.
Good luck,
and
bitch.
like, sorry, you can't get in here. It's just, I guess I'll just use my walking legs to get in, and then, so I go in and run, and they're like, no, Kelly's going up front. We already told her what's going on. And I was like, cool. But in my head, I'm still thinking like, they're obviously going to do this transition in between the two comics. They did not. So you have been warned that this might happen during your set.
And I am embracing it.
So instead, they just introduce Kelly. Kelly goes up. I think you were like 2 jokes in, and then all of a sudden, blast of cold air rolls in.
Hey, you guys know about airplane food? How many kids do you have?
Now, there's kind of like 2 ways you can go at it. Well, you can pretend that it's not happening, which makes you look insane.
Yeah.
Or you can address it in a humorous way. And what did you say when Lucas rolled in?
First of all, they did not know we were friends. This is a don't tell show, so they don't know who's on the lineup. So all they see is a man in a wheelchair trying to get into the building. And I start, you have to make everything about you, don't you? Oh, the world has to bend at your will. Just because I am giving. So all they know is I am bashing this disabled man. In my head, I'm like, Lucas would fucking love this. He would love it. And then I'm looking at their faces.
Horrified. Everyone, 90 horrified people.
So then I have to recover, and I go, no, you guys don't understand. That's my ex-boyfriend. He does this shit all the fucking time. Okay? So then we've set up this premise where I'm mad at him, and him and I are a thing. And so, finally he makes his sweet ass. I kept going, take your sweet ass time, like this the whole time. And he makes his way, and then they bring him up next, and he just opens with so many. Because I know how he does his set about a lot of the sex jokes about.
Yeah.
So now he's putting me in all of these jokes, just coming through the window, and so it was this like
that is awesome
redemption arc for both of us to be like, here's a situation that happened, like let's make the best of it. Because first of all, I didn't care if he interrupted. I also asked. I said, I don't care if he interrupts me. You're
leaving out an important part of the story, because when everyone turned on you, and they did, you were like, it's okay, we used to fuck.
Oh, yeah, that's what I said.
And so everyone starts laughing at that, and then Lucas goes, why is that so funny?
Him coming in, I forgot. I was very gauche about it, because I was just like, it was. Look at me trying to sugar. I said he was my ex-boyfriend. No, I said he used to molest me. Like that's. Yeah.
Oh,
It was one of the funniest unscripted things.
Did he like that?
Oh yeah,
I mean, I kind of dipped out of there too.
There was so many wild things that happened because the headliner, she was like from a different planet. I don't know.
Yeah.
And so like she came in just like she literally walked in, didn't know any of us, and she looked at Lucas and she goes, "What's wrong with you?"
That's exactly what he wanted. And then we were in like a small corner. First of all, there was only one bathroom, and I don't know what it is about these shows where everybody's like, "Gotta pee now," and so there was a bathroom. There was no heat in the building.
Yeah.
And then they kept fucking up his ramp somehow because we had it upside down for the first 3 times he used it, and
It
then
was
like
dangerous, yeah.
and then we were all like, it's like a belaying, like when you take a rock climber and you go up and you're like, there's 2 people on the side that are just doing this, like in case something happens, we got you or whatever. So there was like 6 comics on the side just being like, in case something, like we wouldn't have known what to do.
Dang, that is crazy.
Yeah, that was fun. That was a fun show.
It was amazing.
It was
4 fun shows.
Yeah.
But
that's my favorite thing is like when you immediately, first of all, if I make fun of you, that means I like you.
Yeah.
If I don't make fun of you, then I don't feel comfortable enough knowing that you could take any kind of like teasing or humor. And when people make fun of me or they say something that's like spot on or self-aware, I think it's the funniest thing in the world.
Oh, yeah.
And it makes me feel seen. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, you've paid attention to me enough to know that I hate that blah, 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 blah. Or
that's how much attention comics like.
Need, yeah.
Even if it's negative, we like it.
Yeah. I'm like someone said to me one time, they're like, I said something about, someone was talking about like social politics and like social justice or something, and I was like blah blah blah, and they're like, why don't you put it on a t-shirt and blah blah, like they said something so accurate to me that I was like, that's so funny, because I used to have a shirt that said like coffee, puppies, social justice. That's not, yeah, anyway.
That's great. I feel like we kind of skipped over you featuring for Dimitri Martin.
Oh, yeah,
what was
that was fun.
I mean, did you have any? Was that like a big? Like to me, I was just like,
yeah,
wow, Dimitri Martin.
Dimitri Martin is a legend.
Yeah,
and I love a chance to work with somebody whose style is so different too. So because he does guitar, comedy, he does regular stand up, and then he does like
piano.
He does this like interaction thing with like a prop, like poster board thing. He like kind of lifts the stuff. So for me, it was just like so brilliant to see. And also it just reminds me like there are so many different avenues you can take in this career. Like I remember I'm like, you can do anything. Just don't do magic. That's the only thing. I'm just like, don't do magic. Let's not do that. That's just magic. Okay. Let's separate the magic and the comedy. That's the only.
There goes my half hour.
Yeah, exactly. But I had a great time watching him, and his audiences were fantastic. And it was at 2,500 seat theater. So it was nice.
Oh, wow.
The last time I worked there, I was with Eliza. I did 5 minutes for her. I was opening cold with 15. So that was an experience too.
Yeah.
But then it's like, it's my hometown. So I got to make a couple local references, which always work really well. So that was a lot of fun.
That's dope.
And to loop back, I feel like I started a compliment half an hour ago. But one of the things that I was excited about, like, knowing that you were in that theater, I was seeing that you were reposted some nice things that people had said about, and I was like, oh, it's so nice to see, like, because like I feel like a lot of comics that I like now who aren't super famous but are hilarious, I feel like it's like buying like a stock early. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, oh wait, just wait till everyone sees like how funny this person is.
Oh my God.
So like,
that's
with,
the nicest
like,
thing you could say.
Like seeing you like do a theater, I was like, oh, so many people get to see how funny Kelly is just from like this one show. Like that's.
Thank you. But the thing about theaters that I hate is that you get off stage and people go, who was that? Because you know what I mean? Because you didn't cut and your name's not on the bill or anything. So this might be embarrassing.
No.
I've been trying to really like put everything I have into this lately. So I made these little cards that had a QR code on them that took you to my website, my book, all my social medias and stuff.
Smart.
And I left. I went on the stage door and I was like, go to your car, get your cards, stand outside, And when people are walking, because people kept going, oh my God, you were the opener. Good job.
Give them a thing.
That happened like 4 times before I was like, go get your cards.
Yeah.
Because they don't know who you are. And then I was like, pass them out. And I was like passing out these cards, and I probably passed out like 35 of them. I probably got like 2 followers. Like that's the return on investment ratio with those things. But it made me feel good to be like, okay, you're being proactive. You're being,
Yeah.
And you'll get, it's a small return on investment, but I feel like the ones that people that you do convert will be like diehard fans.
Sure.
And then I'm just trying really hard with the marketing thing, because I feel like you can only I love working on my craft, but at the same time, it's like if you're performing in the woods, no one can hear it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, if no one knows who you are, you can be a great comic, but it's like, how much farther can you go until people
Well, and I like your social media because it's very like, I mean, I understand like some comics, they just want to put their stand-up clips up and, but I like when there's like a different thing, like, oh, I think this person's funny in their day-to-day. I'm curious to see what they're going to do on stage.
I love a story time too, because my friends are always like, we love it when you just like talk to the camera in your stories. So the other day I was talking about how I have like kind of rage issues and like an incident that happened where I saw this pit bull jump out of this car and like attack and blah, blah, blah. And I like yelled at this woman without really, like, my voice and my head aren't connected when I have anger. And like I was saying things. I was writing a check my ass can't cash. Is that the phrase? And so at one point I had yelled all these things.
Wait, are you telling me you're not a street brawler?
Can you believe it? I was like in my Lululemon, just like walking, saw all this thing happen. It was so funny because I was saying all these things to the woman. I think I remember saying, I will beat your ass. Yeah. And after I got done saying this thing, the woman in the car looked at me and I looked at her and we both went, like we both knew none of that was gonna happen. We both knew I didn't have any kind of fight in me to back that up. And we both like made eye contact, like, that was funny.
She also has a pit bull.
Yeah, she has 2 unleashed pit bulls, which was what I was mad about. No, I was mad she hit the pit bull afterwards. She was like, don't chase other dogs and try and kill them. And she smacked it. And I was like, don't hit your dog. And she just kind of looked at me. I was like, yeah, you blah, blah. And it just like all starts coming out. She just looked at me like, and I was like, you're right. What would I do?
Yeah.
I have nothing.
I watched that story and then I was like, oh, I'm scared for Kelly.
Yes, and I said I'm probably going to get hurt one day.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to learn my lesson one day, but I was like, I need to get this under control.
Did you say you talk to like grown men that way too?
Yes.
Like,
so there was on the same freaking, I guess you need to stay off this sidewalk that I was on, but there was a woman jogging in her sports bra and she had her headphones in. So she couldn't hear what this guy was saying, but this guy pulls up in his car and rolls down his windows and is saying the nastiest things to this woman. Like, I would do this to you.
Yeah.
You're like blah, 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 blah. And she's just running and she runs by and she doesn't even know that I'm behind her. And I'm just like, I will fucking end you. I am like screaming at him. I was like, fuck you.
And then he was like, that's my wife.
This is actually the first incident where he like looked at me and he was like, my bad. Like he literally, I don't think anybody has ever checked him.
Yeah.
And especially not someone on the street that doesn't know him. Like probably like one of his friends in the car was like, hey man, you probably shouldn't do it. But like literally I was probably scary as hell to him. I looked unhinged and he actually looked at me like, my bad.
Yeah. Well, like a woman screaming like that for some men is like looking at like a raccoon with rabies. Like you could probably take it, but you don't want to get bit.
Yeah. He was looking at me like, I don't ever want this to happen again.
Yeah,
so maybe I'll change my ways.
He was scared.
Yeah, he was scared. And I was like, this is the exact reaction. Because most people are like, what's that going to do? He's not going to change. I'm like, oh, this one looked like he did.
You're also a professional comedian and a traveling road comedian. So it's like you deal with like men at their worst a lot, you know, like, I mean, it's not your first rodeo doing that.
Sometimes my faith in humanity is like really low. I worked at Hooters when I was 16. I didn't think it could get worse.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I don't like any of that sentence.
No. Yeah.
That's legal?
It shouldn't be. It should not be. I was a hostess. So my job was to be like, sit anywhere. Pull a hoop in the front, ride a scooter around, make $6.25 an hour, sell calendars.
Sounds like an episode of Dateline.
It was the stories. Yeah. I thought it was like, that's fine. They just think I'm pretty or whatever. Oh, you were 16. They were grown men saying things to you. Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah. So I feel like I said that in my story about my rage. I was like, I feel like for a long time I like just didn't say anything because I'm like, you're supposed to, you don't like start fights and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Now as an adult, I'm like, I would fight anybody over any injustice that I see. And then I'm like, not always worth it. Thank you for pulling
Zach,
all these pictures of me up. Look at me.
Zach, did you used to work at a Hooters? Did you ever do a chef at a Hooters?
Yeah, I was 16.
Yeah.
A 60-year-old chef at a Hooters?
No, 60? What?
16-year-old chef.
No, I was also a hostess.
You were a hostess at
The
Hooters?
shorts, man.
They didn't say as many things to me.
Look how much makeup they put. Sorry, go back. Look how much makeup they put on me in this video. So you get your makeup done for this, and I was like, just make me look I look like a ventriloquist. I feel like they have so much blush on me.
Some of those pictures do not look like you.
Yeah, I kept being like, and they kept being like, oh, the lighting will change it all. Like you have to do this for TV or you look rushed out. And I'm looking at myself. I'm like, that's all the makeup. That's all the makeup in the world.
I was watching. So is Dry Bar like a thing where they don't serve alcohol? Like it's.
Dry Bar is a clean comedy special,
Yeah,
so you can't talk about sex.
Yeah.
You can't talk about drugs or alcohol.
Okay.
You can't take the Lord's name in vain.
Because I was watching a part of this or maybe the whole thing, and you can't kind of catch yourself on a thing. Like you were like, no, I'm just kidding. I don't drink. And I was like,
Or and instead of saying like I say something about Instagram and girl face down ass, like something about girl, and I'm like girl in a bikini. Like I had to change because I used to say girl in a thong.
Yeah.
Like I was like, can't say that.
Can't say thong.
I didn't want to try. I was like, I don't
you
want
want to think
get
about cheeks in a clean comedy show.
Right.
There are two funny stories from that. The first is that they cut the word God. I say, oh my God, they cut it out. So the timing of that joke, I listened to it over and over again. I'm like, this is not how I say it. I'm like, what's missing? I was like, they cut it. I said, they go, oh my. And then they just keep with the joke. And I was like, oh, look at that. They cut it out. And then the other thing was I recorded it the day they announced Biden was president. So I was
everybody
in Utah.
there was bummed out.
Yeah, I was in Utah. It was in the middle of COVID. So everybody was already 6 feet apart, masked. And then they had all their Trump masks on, just staring at me. And I was scared. I was like, they're not going to like me. Honestly, they were great. They were a pretty good crowd for the size of them. They laughed at a bunch of stuff.
Is this? I'm curious because like I wouldn't say you're a clean comic by any means. So
no, I had to try really hard for that.
What was the kind of the thinking by doing that was your first special, right?
Yeah.
Like why did you do it that way?
Well, they're a big platform. They have a lot of viewers on there.
Yeah.
This is before like Don't Tell became like the way to be seen. So I was like, okay. And then they offered I had a couple friends that did it, and I was like, well, I have some jokes that aren't about sex, drugs, rock and roll or any of that. So I was like, I might as well. And I've been doing it so long. I was like, I want to burn material. I was like, if I do these jokes, record them on an album, then I can be like, okay, they're done. They're out there. Now I can start over. Otherwise, I was just like, I'd be like, that one works. That one, then you just kind of keep it in your back pocket forever. And you don't know when to get rid of it. Personally. No one's ever told me like that's expired. You know what I mean? Which I feel like we should be able to tell each other.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff.
I have some jokes that I'm like, these are expired.
Yes, like I think we know subconsciously, but sometimes you get like in a situation where you're like, pull it out because that's the one that you know.
I actually have a list for both of you guys.
Thank you for Is this why you guys invited me to brunch?
It's called stale milk.
Yes, that's what it is.
Your jokes have curdled.
Yes, but and if you go to the very bottom video. So I recorded during the pandemic. This was when I quit my job. So I quit my job in 2020. I show leading up to the pandemic and then every show after. So that's me ordering McDonald's. But like, this is just like that's a theater show. That's me headlining the Comedy Attic. That's me on the news. That's me like getting excited. I'm a Helium Indie. I'm doing a lot. And then this is where everything is shut down. I'm like, everything like it's... We're driving to shows. We're just like I'm crying. Right, look at me, existential crisis. Like I'm just like, what am I doing? That was the last. Yeah, it just keeps talking about like.
Yeah, because that was another thing that we because you really started kind of popping off right before COVID, so it was like so
sad.
And it's like a thing where I want to give comics or anybody permission to feel kind of shitty about it, because it was like a thing where like you were also like not allowed to feel shitty, like what, everything's finally working out for me, and now the world shuts down, and now an apocalypse, you know, and it was a big speed bump for a lot of people.
And I think it's good that we all were in it together. We all made do with like Zoom shows and backyard shows and outdoor shows. But
drinking.
But everything, drinking,
crying and drinking,
all the porn. But yeah, I it was hard. It was hard
so
to
much porn.
I literally quit. I quit my full-time job 2 months before that because I was like, my calendar stacked. I'm gonna be busy. I'm gonna be making money, and then it was like goodbye.
I'm a comic now.
Yeah, I was like, that sucks. But it's back up. It's picked back up. And we've all adapted, I feel like, a little bit. Yeah.
Let's give her a round of applause for doing it. Let's just get that sound button.
Thank
thought it was going to be a lot more climactic.
I thought it was going to be like, and I thought literally you guys were going to give me a round of applause, but literally you just rested your
We
hands.
got a machine for that.
I
Let's
knew he was outsourcing it.
make sure Kelly feels appreciated. Right here.
Outsource all our applauses.
Can you drop a beat for me there, Sauce Boss?
Can't.
Kelly Collette, thank you so much for being on the program today. Where can people follow you and find you on social media?
I'm at Kelly Collette at almost everything. That's spelled Collette, stolen from Tony Collette. I post my clips and my dates regularly. Where else can you find me? Hooters, Sports Bar.
Go back in time.
She will be asking if you're in the smoking or non-smoking section.
And on the sidewalk, yelling at people until someone teaches me a lesson, apparently.
If you're abusing your animals, she'll find you.
I'll find you.
Daddy's Jake.
Hey, you can find me on the sidewalk yelling at women. Nice things. No,
Yes, compliments only.
Yeah, at Thad McKee. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter.
Zach Rome.
I think all I got to say is...
Summer camp, baby.
Suck dick.
Don't forget, summer camp, adult summer camp 2023. Tickets on sale now, eventbrite.com. Theme song to be determined.
Wait, what?
I'm just kidding, I love it.
I think we found our handshake, though.
We'll see you next time.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. And you're always welcome to come on through and eat. You don't even have to be on the podcast. You can just stop by if you're here on a Sunday. Brunch with us. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.